running from the bad guy. I'ma stare him in the eye like, what's up?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 21 of My Story and My Strength. This challenge is not about perfection. It's about truth. It's about showing up raw, broken, healing, and still rising. I created this for myself at first as a part of my own healing journey. But if you're here today, if you're listening, it might be because you've been through something too. And I want you to know that your pain is valid. Your story matters. Your healing, while messy and painful, is absolutely possible. So, I want to give you a trigger warning. Today's episode includes discussion of grief, emotional betrayal, infidelity, and verbal abuse within a relationship. Please take care and take breaks if needed, because again, your mental health is what's more important. So take care of yourself. Okay, so this is a kind of a touchy one because it's about me and my current husband. We haven't had the perfect relationship, and we are still working on a lot of stuff, and it gets hard sometimes. And this is a story about when you think you know someone, when you hold on to hope that they'll finally become the person that they promised to be, and you end up sacrificing pieces of yourself, pieces of your own joy over and over again. So this is about the year my son died. A lot of our trauma happened the year he died and before with my current husband. Most of our arguments have been things that happened the year 2017 and back. I mean, has he done things here and there after? Sure, but the majority of it was that year. Um, so instead of supporting me in my son's grief, he basically, I don't know what was going on at that time. A lot of stuff was going on with his family, with his daughter, and things didn't happen the way he expected. And he left, and I felt abandoned. He physically and emotionally left me. I was at work one day, and we argued a lot. We did. And a lot of it was because of his family, the things that they were saying, the things that they didn't know I heard, because sometimes he would have him on speaker, I'd be on the phone, but it's just like, why are you even not? Because I felt like he didn't defend me. I didn't even ask him to do anything more than tell him to stop, but the way things came out at the time probably came out really angry and aggressive from my end, not justifying any behaviors, but he didn't defend me. So we argued on a daily basis, and it became overbearing for the both of us. So he went to vent to a family member, and of course, if you need any help, you don't deserve that, and whatever they said, you come stay with me. So one day when I was at work, I come home. Well, when I'm at work, he packed his stuff, he leaves. I didn't realize that that's what he was going to do, because we had a conversation that night before. He said he wasn't leaving me. I'm not happy about how things are going with us, but I'm happy in the relationship, and I'm not going to leave. But then the next day, he leaves. And I'm just like, wow, his family disrespects me and my kids constantly, and he let them. He protected he protected his image with them more than he protected me. He walked out on me just the one day after swearing he never would, you know. And he left me right after I helped him with his financial situation, made sure he had a car, made sure that he was okay. And I held our entire life together while he was looking for a job, while he was trying to find out how he can get a car, while he was trying to do everything. I helped keep our life together. And I was still trying to grieve my child. So I was emotionally exhausted, and I didn't get a lot of support from him emotionally. He picked up my daughter from school here and there, or daily, not here and there. And but I mean, I wasn't I didn't know what to do. Then he kind of just disappeared. Not to mourn, not to grieve. This is my opinion, you guys. But to go and basically live his life, go and hanging out with bars with ex-coworkers, and just do what he, felt like he wanted to do. And one of the things he did was go and hang out with someone that he used to see romantically. And he spent the night at her house. I didn't feel comfortable about the situation. And, I found out about it because I went to his phone and I saw that, he spent the night at her house. And this was somebody I had issues with, because she was a person that he used to have an affair with his wife before they were married, but we weren't married, And he had an affair with this woman for years while he was with his ex-wife but before they were married. The same woman he swore she didn't mean really nothing to him. Now it's just his best friend. And he left me, basically, in my opinion, to drown. And I felt like I never existed to him, you know. When I asked him to help to keep, a roof over my head, help pay for the hotel, he agreed to help um, to keep me and my daughter in the hotel. But then he allowed his aunt to suggest that me and my daughter go to a homeless shelter instead. It to me was really cruel. It was beyond cruel. But when we kind of worked our stuff out, he was gone for a little less than a month, and we decided that he would come back. But it was after weeks of sometimes not talking to me, not responding to my text messages, not calling and answering my calls, just treating me like I wasn't there. And I was lost. I was alone. I was in a state where I did not have anybody. He was the only person I had. So when he left me, and he chose his family and himself over me losing my son and needing that, I felt worthless. So after all of that, he said, okay, I'll come home, but I don't want to come to this hotel room. It costs too much. We ended up saying, okay, we're going to rent his friend's basement apartment so that we can save money. And it was, it was supposed to be a new start. He gave me all of these, okay, I'll come back if things. And I just agreed because at the time I didn't want to be alone. I was alone, even the friend that I had out there, I didn't have anybody. But then I went through his phone again and I found a message from her about a month after we moved in with his friend. It was something innocent. It wasn't like, oh, daddy, this. It was just, she just wished him happy Father's Day, And I just kind of felt mad. Felt sick. Like, why? So I asked him, I'm like, hey, can you stop talking to this person? I explained to him how much it hurt me. And he told me no. No. He told me he already lost the people because I lost a lot of people I cared about because of this situation, and I'm not going to lose anybody else I cared about. He didn't realize how disrespected and how fucked up I felt. He was willing to sacrifice me because I told him, well, it's either her or me. And he was like, well, if you're going to leave, leave. But I'm not going to stop talking to me. He was willing to sacrifice me to hold on to someone who helped him cheat on someone before, and we argued for a few days about it, and I never understood. I'm like, why won't you just stop talking to this girl? She's one of my best friends. She means a lot to me. So I said, okay, well, if you don't want to tell her, I'm going to tell her, and I'm going to talk to her myself. I'm going to ask her to stop talking to you. He was like, fine. I didn't do anything behind his back. You're going to call her, text her. So I messaged her and I asked her with respect. I'm like, hey, can you stop contacting him? I asked her, I said, I understand the situation with you and him, and I know about your past with him when he was with his ex, and I don't feel comfortable with the friendship. And she kind of laughed at me and basically disrespected me, telling me basically, honey, when he leave you again, he's going to come running to me and I'm not going to stop talking to him, basically. I don't remember the exact words, but I know I showed him the messages and he agreed that I didn't say anything disrespectful and that she could have handled it better. So I'm responding to her like, hey, I'm not disrespecting you. Why are you coming at me like this? I'm coming at you as a woman, asking you to respect me as a woman with my boyfriend at the time. And she's still not caring, when he leaves you again, I'll be waiting. When he do, then she starts to drag me, calling me names, calling me fat, disrespecting my body, my grief, just who I was. And he wasn't saying nothing, not a word. So she starts I'm yelling. I'm like, you're gonna just let her say this? So he starts to text her like, hey, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing that? She starts going off on him. He's not really arguing with her the way he was arguing with me. Because again, he's screaming at me that he's not going to go talking to her. He's saying this that people are hearing him yelling at me. My daughter's in the next room. His friend's upstairs. So I'm like really embarrassed. But when this girl's doing this, it was a sense of peace and calm. Like, I don't know what to say. And I'm just like, really, I'm grieving the loss of my son. I had no family around me, no safe space. And now not even the person that I love would defend me. I felt so invisible. I felt alone and unworthy. I'm getting a little, that still bothers me sometimes. That's something that I never understood. And this experience left me believing that I wasn't enough. I never have been, and I never would be. And no matter how much I gave, how much I worked, how hard I worked, or how deeply I loved, I'd always be someone who was disposable, someone that people could just leave and throw it in the trash. And I started believing that the more I showed up for others, the more that they would walk away from me. I blamed myself for being too emotional, too insecure, and too broken. I felt ashamed for asking to be treated with respect, ashamed for trying to protect my peace, and ashamed at the response that I got. And deep inside, the wound wasn't just about betrayal, it was about the abandonment. It was about the painful confirmation that even when I loved him fully, he still left me behind for someone he felt was better than me. So, reflection questions. Have you ever tried to prove your worth to someone who already decided that they never see it? They'd never see it. Have you ever tried to prove your worth to someone who already decided that they'd never see it? What did you do? What did that do to your spirit? And what part of yourself are you ready to reclaim? That's my reflection question. So here's reframing. And this is probably something I need to do even every day now because, again, that's something I'm still working on. So the negative mindset that I have is if I were worthy, he would have stayed. If I mattered, he would have defended me. I must be forgettable. And that's how I feel. If I mattered, if I was worthy, he would fight harder to love me than to fight hard to hurt me. Um, but to reframe that, I need to teach myself that it wasn't me. It wasn't me. I need to shift the lens. His failure to show up had nothing to do. Sorry, his failure to show up had nothing to do with my worth and everything to do with his own brokenness. People who don't value themselves will never value me. My light didn't make him leave. It simply exposed his shadows. Um, so an affirmation that I am still having to teach myself is I am not disposable. I am sacred. My worth is not determined by how others treat me. It is defined by how deeply I choose to love and protect myself. Okay. Now we're going to the mini session, the coping session. Sorry, like I said, these stories take a lot out of me. So, and it's been one of those days. You see, I'm late, so I do apologize for being late for this. A grounding technique is release and breathe, release and with breath and muscle reset. This tool combines breath work with body awareness to discharge any emotional tension. So you can sit or stand with both feet flat on the floor. Okay. And you inhale deeply through, oh, I already told you guys this one. Inhale deeply through your nose for 4 seconds. And as you you clench your fists. You exhale, you squeeze your fists tight, tighten your shoulders, and then release again with a sigh. And you do that 3 times. So it's kind of different. Breathe in for 4 seconds. And as you exhale, you squeeze your fists and your shoulders. And then when you release the tension, you sigh. And you do that 3 times. Each time tightening a different part of your body, your jaws, your shoulders, your thighs, and then relaxing as you exhale. And then finally place one hand on your chest and the other on your belly. And then you remind yourself that this body is mine. This breath is mine. I am safe within me. Okay? So it wasn't exactly like that one. I knew that they were the same. They were sitting. So it's your 1 minute empowerment challenge. I challenge you all to choose one boundary that you've been afraid to set. And today you need to set that boundary. Whether it's blocking a number, saying no without guilt, or removing yourself from a toxic conversation. And I know I give that challenge to you guys a lot because that's something that we have a hard time doing. And you need to act on your own power when you do it because you don't owe anyone access to your peace. You protect your energy like it's sacred because it really, really, really is. Okay? And then today we're going to have a survivor spotlight. And this one is going to be to someone I love so much. It's my sister. I'm not going to say her name because she's really private. But the shout out is just it's a personal and powerful shout out. My older sister, she knows who she is. She has walked through fire and come out standing strong, never letting her pain define her. Our mother, our family, and her own struggles, she faced them all without ever really losing herself. When I lost my son, most people kind of disappeared, including, as you know, the situation that I was in. But she didn't. She called me, she checked in on me, and she made sure that um, she made me feel like I wasn't alone when I needed someone. She taught me that boundaries are not being cruel, that they are protection, that I can speak up without apologizing about my feelings, and that loving myself doesn't make me selfish. She taught me that loving myself made me strong. She's really bold and honest. She's really fierce, and she doesn't always talk about trauma in public. She's really private again. She's not this advocate for trauma, DV, or whatever, but she's been doing the work in private her whole life to help herself. She helped raise our mother. You hear that? She helped raise our mother when no one else would, not even me. She fought for peace even when no one gave it to her. And she's loved me through every broken version of myself. So thank you, my big sis. You are my anchor. You are my mirror. You remind me. You are my reminder that healing doesn't always look soft, but it always looks strong. And I honor you. So my sister, I thank you for showing me what grace and grit looks like, for never letting me drown in silence. You may not speak to the world the way I do, but you show up in ways that matter. You are loved, and you are seen, and you are appreciated, and I love you very much. I was not supposed to cry. So you've made it to the end of day 21. If you've made it to the end of day 21, that means that you're showing up for yourself. You're not here for sympathy. You're here for strength. Don't just listen. You share this with someone who needs to be reminded that they're not alone. You can message me, comment your truth, speak your story, and let others let's keep healing out loud. Please subscribe to my channels, Empowered Voices, Finding Strength in Survivors. Follow me on my social medias. I have my link tree, the link to my link tree in the description. And you can see any way that you can follow me. Anything that I'm into is going to be in there. And just remember that your story doesn't end in pain. It begins in power, even power with tears, you guys, because that's a part of healing. So I'll see you tomorrow for day 22. Love you all and stay strong.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. No more running from the bad guy. I'ma stare him in the eye like, what's up? I know the journey got hard for a minute, but I ain't giving this up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down,